If you're as old as me, you remember these lyrics. When two tribes go to war, a point is all that you can score. Who was that? That was Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And it was quite a famous number one at the time about war. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Never before in all my time, I've been around cars a long time. I've been driving for a lot of years and I've owned a lot of different makes, models, types, etc. But never before have I seen such a tribal mentality, the two tribes going to war. When I was a kid, it was Ford versus Holden and, BMW versus Mercedes and whatever else. But now, particularly if you didn't spend a lot of time at school and you're not so smart and you do like the odd, now it's this. It's all of us against the EVs. And it's become bad to the point where most of the people that carry on about it haven't got a clue what they're talking about, right? They've never driven one, never seen one. They've only driven very small amount of internal combustion cars. They've got no idea, right? And it's become bad, but it's all fueled by social media, you see, because the more you can engagement farm, the more clicks you get, the better it is for your advertisers, the more revenue you earn. So, if you think there's some big fat cat sitting at the top of this going, come on boys, fight, it's good for my bank balance, you're 100% right. But yeah, it's bad right now, and I get an inbox full of it, but I laugh because I am old enough to remember that when we used to talk about performance cars, it was really quite interesting. It was always about when I was a little kid and Dad would bring home the Wheels or Modern Motor magazines, that's how old I am, or Motor Trend or Car and Driver or Car, if you're from overseas. First thing I'd do is whip open the comparos and go straight down to the 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometre an hour times. And I used to judge my performance cars, partly on how they looked and a lot of how they handled and what type of brakes they had, but mainly on how fast they were, because that is a key metric of a performance car, not what it uses to power the wheels, whether it be like grated rubber dongs, petrol or electricity. That's good, wasn't it? It doesn't really matter. What matters is how the thing goes, but not anymore, because the machine, the bots, and those that are making the money need you to remain in your current space, your current headspace and your current driving space, because if you don't, it directly affects their income. For example, it's all about the current thing. And, someone starts off, we don't like them EVs. Why? Because they're faster than you on this. I get it all the time. Thank you, Draghi, by the way, for sponsoring today's event. No, you didn't sponsor it, but you should. I get it all the time because in our little group that we talk about, I'm fastest. And the car in second place is an EV as well. I mean, face facts. We're talking about physics here, and I don't care how you feel, and I don't care if it pulls your panties, to the point where it's tight and it hurts. I don't care. The fact is, facts are facts. Physics is physics. Everything else is just an exception, and data never lies. If you can't handle that, get over it. Now, I'm not criticising you for owning some vile heap of junk that's constantly breaking down, needs servicing. You've got to put $150 a week of dead dinosaur dicks in it to move. I don't care. That's yours. But do you see me making up fake pictures? It's on fire. And I saw a Tesla burning to the ground in North Adelaide on the way to work the other day. Odd thing is, it had Peugeot badges. But why not say it's a Tesla? It's good. You see, where are we going with this and where's it all going to stop? I think slowly as my generation die out, that were just born and bred with fuel in their veins, I think it's going to change a bit, and we're going to have, the smarter people of my generation are already onto it. They have a selection of different cars, well, the wealthy ones anyway, and there'll be normally an EV in there somewhere for shits and giggles or whatever. They don't really care. They drive for the effect. They drive for, the pleasure of it. And it is quite, there is there is something pleasant about not being stunk out or costing you $1 million to run or stalling at the lights and not being able to restart. There's something pleasant about that, you know, particularly if you're driving some miles. And there is also the type of owner that can only afford one performance car, and it's got to be frugal, but it's got to be fast, and it's got to do 500 kilometres a week of driving. And I know in that application which one makes perfect sense. You see where I'm coming from here? Yeah, it's not a miracle. So the last thing they've got, because their cars aren't fast anymore, you know, in certain conditions, with certain tyres, at certain pressure, and with certain launch control or fluffer mode engaged, we call it. It's a bit like the old fluffers from Ron Jeremy's days, with fluffer mode in full swing. You like that too. Minus the dingleberries. It was, they can be quick, but the reality is, stomp and go, they're bloody useless, a lot of them. I mean, I'll put my basic Model 3 Performance, an $80,000 Australian car, up against a McLaren 765 to 100 Ks over a stomp and go, and I guarantee I'll kill it. So, you know, there are some advantages to both. But so the last thing in the whole train of stupidity here is soul. Now, when I was a lad, James Brown had soul. And so did the preacher from Coming to America. Remember that? That boy, he sing good, he got soul. Remember that? Was it Randy Watson? Sexual Chocolate? You can find a little picture there and put that in with the Soul Glow. I've got no hair, so I can't use Soul Glow. But soul is just stupidity for stench and the sound of unreliability. I just turn up my 18 speaker top of the line sound system and listen to whatever I want. And if I want to put on fake brum brum noises, I'll happily do that. So basically what I'm saying is this: everyone can coexist in this world. We can all have fun. You don't need to be nasty about it because you're a bit unintelligent. You can actually spread your wings a little bit and learn and adapt and become more of a functioning member of society, just like me. So remember, you heard it here first on Range Anxiety.